So if you've clicked onto this video, guys, then you're probably wondering, what is this weight loss hack? Let me tell you, I'm going to explain everything right now throughout this video. It is so simplistic. It's not a fuddy diet. It's not starving yourself. It's about being accountable and keeping track. I'm 48 years old, and this is how I have remain slim most of my life. I'm going to explain a little bit about my background and exactly where this concept comes from. So if you want to find out more, let's get into it. Are you desperate to shake those extra pounds, but do you feel confused by the amount of diets there are out there? So let's talk about a bit of a background where this comes from. So I was a rhythmic gymnast, and I competed for Great Britain. And when I was 12 years old, I was sent to live in Moscow, of all places. And this was a long time ago. It was when it was the former Soviet Union. So I'm this 12-year-old little girl, doesn't speak a word of Russian, suddenly in this Russian boot camp. And it was very regimental, as you can possibly imagine. And every morning, we would be lined up, all of us lined up in our kind of like leotards. Now, trust me, when you're a gymnast, there is no room for error. You are judged on being in a leotard, so you cannot afford any lumps and bumps anywhere. So in the morning, it was those, we'd all line up and there'd be a big chart on the wall. It was very intimidating. And it would be those old-fashioned scales that you have to knock and they balance like that. And what our coaches would do is they would weigh us, all of us, and they would write it down. And so you were kept accountable because every girl's weight was listed. And then obviously we would train for 4 hours and we would be weighed again after we'd trained. And that was to see how hard we'd worked. I mean, looking back on it now, it's crazy. And then obviously we'd then be allowed some lunch, which was generally not a lot. We're talking back in the former communist Soviet days of the USSR, and gymnastics, as you probably know, is an incredibly tough sport. So we would be weighed about 6 times a day, which is you know, it's beyond crazy. So what this sort of instilled in me was that thing of holding myself accountable. I mean, look, I've had 2 children. My weight has fluctuated over the years. I know now as we get into, like, I'm in my 40s, well, I'm 48. I would say I'm perimenopausal, and it definitely becomes a bit harder. So I just find this concept so simple, you know, and it's almost like you're kind of like in a little competition with yourself, and you don't want to let yourself down. So that's why it works, and it's worked for so many people that I've shared it with, and they're like, Deb, it's so simple, but it actually works. So I just wanted to share it with you guys, wanted to see what you think, maybe give it a go for a week or so. You know, there's no harm, but I'd love to know in the comments, you know, how you found it. Did it work? So you're probably asking, what is this life-changing hack? What is AWI? Basically, it's accountable weigh-ins. And that means you're going to hold yourself accountable every day to weigh in twice a day. So here's the chart. I don't want you to worry about it too much because I'm going to explain it more in detail as we get into the video. But basically, it's going to be every morning when you wake up, you're going to take your weight and you're going to record it in the chart. Then again, later on, just before bedtime, you're going to record your weight again and you're going to make a note of it. So why is writing it down? Why is this important? And the reason this is important is it's a visual way of staying accountable. And so the purpose of this is that our morning weight is our baseline weight. And by the evening weight, we want to try and maintain it or be 0.4 either side of it. And so if I show you a little bit of kind of like how a chart works, yeah. So here we have the chart. And so you can see we've got the days of the week, we've got our start weight, our goal weight and our end weight. And as you can see, each time we input our morning weight and then our evening weight. Now, if you look at it closely, you can see, say on Monday, 67.4, went to bed at 67.2. This is great. This is 0.2 under. So you can see as the week goes through the progression of the weight loss. So staying within that 0.4 of a kilo is going to give you results. And then at the end of the week, you can see that the start weight was 67.4. And by the end of the week, we were at 65.8. And that is a total loss of 1.6 kilograms in the week. So again, it is about that consistency, the visual table and the record and staying accountable. And so really and truly, what you're going to do is the concept of it is you're going to give yourself a little bit of a leeway. So let's just say your morning weight, when you wake up, first thing I do, up on the scales, and whatever that weight is, let's just say for purpose sake, it's 66.4 kilos is your morning weight. Okay. Then you're going to get on with your day. Obviously you're going to eat, you're going to do things, you're going to potentially maybe do some physical exercise. What you need to do is if you're 66.8 in the morning, you're going to give yourself 4 hundredths to play with. So you need to be as close as possible to 66.8 before you get into bed. So before you get into bed, you're going to stand on the scales. 66.8 was your morning weight. If you can get on the scales at the end of the day and be 66.8 again, fantastic. If you are 66.9, that's great. If you're less, maybe that day you've done a bit of extra walking or you've done a workout. As long as you are within a ratio of a few hundredths, you are going to see weight loss, and it will be a slow but very consistent. So it's about maintaining the morning weight and having the evening weight as close as possible to the morning weight. The last thing you want to do is go to bed much heavier than you were when you woke up, because your body will not be able to, it will not go into that state where it's processing. Making an actual physical chart is a really good idea, because obviously then you can see the progress. So you're going to start, obviously with your start weight, your goal weight, and then you can monitor. So you can give yourself like a period of time that you would like to hit that goal weight. Now, obviously during the day, my advice and how I tend to do things is I try to eat the majority of my food or calories as early on in the day as possible. And as the day progresses, so it's almost like an intermittent fasting, but not quite. I mean, I'm a big fan of intermittent fasting. I think it's great, but this is almost like it's not, I wouldn't say it's intermittent fasting, but we are going to reduce how much we eat towards the end of the evening to give our bodies enough time to process the calories that we've eaten during the day, in order to ensure that we can be as close to our morning weight later on in the evening before we go to bed. The last thing you want to be doing is going to bed feeling heavy and bloated. So it's always I have always found that it's quite a good idea to go to bed feeling slightly hungry, but knowing that I'm going to, sleep, I'm going to wake up and look forward to breakfast in the morning. Is something that you can put it up on your fridge door. If you don't want to do that, you don't want to tell anyone that you're doing it, just keep it in your bedroom drawer, whatever you want to do. You can do it with a friend. It's always quite good if there's like a few of you, and you can have I've had some friends that have done it like in a WhatsApp group. So every morning they'll sort of text me, and then every evening, and you'll see, there are going to be days, I went out for a Chinese and I'm like 0.6 over that I was this morning. So, that's fine. That's cool. It's going to happen. But then the next day you can, be a bit more mindful and correct that. So you'll be able to definitely work out patterns as to when, that you are not hitting those exact targets. I know it's hard because we don't always have the time, but I would definitely recommend, if you can, doing a little bit of physical activity for, say, like just 10 minutes a day, just something that gets your heart going, gets your heart racing. It's always good. I'm putting up lots and lots of different workout videos that you guys can follow. I'm also going to be doing what I eat in a day, so you guys can get a little bit of an idea there as well. You know, as I said, you know, it's a battle. We all battle with, you know, staying fit and trying to, you know, fit everything else in that's going on in our busy lives, whether it's kids or jobs or, you know, whatever you're doing. I know, but 10 minutes out of your day is not that much, and we can all find that time. Say, guys, thanks so much for watching this video, and I'd be really keen to see if anyone wants to give it a go, and drop me some comments below if you've got any questions, and I will answer everything that I can. And as I said, if you want lots more tips, tricks and advice on staying fit and healthy in our 40s and moving forwards, then you can click subscribe, and I will see you again in the next video. So once again, thanks for watching, guys. Bye.